Uh-huh. Thou hast rightly judged. Now he turned to the woman and said unto Simon, Seest thou this woman? Yeah. I entered into her thine house, and thou gavest me no water for my feet, but she hath washed my feet with tears, and wiped them with the hairs of her head. Thou gavest me no kiss, but this woman since the time I came in hath not ceased to kiss my feet. My head with oil. Yeah. Thou didst not anoint, but this woman hath anointed my feet with ointment. Wherefore I say unto thee, her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she loved much. But to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little. Yes. Now, my feet happen to hurt too, because you refuse to enforce the laws. And as much as it might not bother you, the idea of me having credit or the availability of a bank account, a job, assets, and money, poop. I thought for sure that when I documented lawsuits, I had the legal right to use the court. Now it looks like that those that, wherefore I say unto thee, her sins which are many are forgiven. For she loved much, but to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little. Now there's a possibility that you don't love me very much. Oh. But when I look at a street light, yes, and I see the light of the sun as being brighter than the actual light in the street light, I'm thinking that somebody wanted to counterfeit Christianity. Now let's look at your way. Uh, in my way, yes, I love you. Now, I just wanted to know, Kingsway, right now. Did you think that you're come to find out Christianity was of a greater, brighter light than the actual light of Christianity? I mean, can you really feel forgiven when you have to come to find out? Mhm. Well, listen, Queen. There happen to be certain seats in the Church of England that I'm going to want to dig up. Yes. Because there are different locations throughout Christianity where there could be some items that I'd like to see. And this book of Thomas is really the book of Judas? Yes. Why don't you tell me if you have a copy of it? Is the Queen of England a collector of occult artifacts? And are there any spiritist or occultist items that I should have knowledge of? Yes. Now, I'm wanting to plan a little celebration for the last 2,000 years of the resurrection of Jesus. And as often as I've mentioned to Catholicism, yeah, these private universities and colleges, private hospitals, yes, I'm thinking that somebody has some artifacts, yes, that I'm going to want to use. Now, I mentioned to the Pope wanting that library in the Vatican. See, my thought was to expand the Bank of the Vatican. Yes. As the chairman of the board. Yes. Why don't you get me the bank accounts? Yes. And the credit worthiness of every borrower in the Vatican Bank. And then in the Church of England, could you get me all the employees of the Church of England? Yes. Their credit scores, their mortgages, and their mortgage insurances. Now, if I find out that there's a large number of those, as that individual that was planning on a large global celebration of Christianity, I am not going to want to put on display, yes, in any bank, yes, any artifact or book, yes, that detracts from the actual genuineness of Christianity. Now, in Spain, I'm going to want to know if there's any documentation. Yes. See, my thought was, let's say you walked into the Vatican's bank. Yes. You'd like to open a new account. wouldn't you? And it happens to be throughout the whole world there are Catholic churches, and I thought, well, we'd expand the Vatican's bank. But I'd give all of Christianity the availability of looking at everything that's been produced or manufactured for the last 2,000 years. Now, a good place to put them on display, yes, is in the lobby of a bank. So that people could go around the world, yes, visiting various banks, yes, opening accounts and making deposits, yes, where they could see the various manuscripts or parchment papers, yes, or the books that have been written by the different nuns or saints or monks or whomever it was that did write it. Now, I'm going to want to know everything that has been written or manufactured by every individual in Christianity for the last 2,000 years. And if I think, yes, that it could be spiritist or occultist, yes, as in it's the false light of Christianity, I myself would not want to put that on display. Now, for all of you that would say, oh my gosh, he's going to burn up the book of Judas, I'm one of these that would burn it. I'd throw it right in the fire. I know it's upsetting to you that I would get rid of an antiquity, yes, that should have never been manufactured. Right now.